In the intricate narrative of a downtrodden soul grappling with the lowest rank among hunters, the world witnesses the sudden appearance of mystical portals and foreboding dungeons, unleashing monstrous entities that wreak havoc upon humanity. Yet, within this chaos, a glimmer of hope emerges in the form of hunters, individuals awakened with supernatural abilities, classified into distinct ranks ranging from the formidable SSS to the humble G-class. These hunters become humanity's beacon of salvation, turning the tide of despair into an opportunity for resurgence. Our focus shifts to Seion Miri, a young woman possessing a lightning class ability rated at a B+ rank. Despite her relentless dedication to training, Seion finds herself trapped within the confines of a G-class rank, a reality that evokes a sense of disappointment and frustration. Amidst her contemplation, an encounter with a mysterious protagonist unfolds. The protagonist, marked by an air of enigma, engages in a brief interaction with Seion, leaving her both perplexed and intrigued. As the protagonist hastily departs to attend to a ringing phone, Seion is left grappling with unanswered questions. The narrative takes a turn as a recruiter contacts Seion, urging her to proceed to the evaluation room. This sets the stage for a journey fraught with uncertainties and the potential for transformative revelations, as Seion steps into a realm where her destiny intertwines with the unpredictable threads of the supernatural. A few hours elapse before the results of Seion's re-evaluation are disclosed. As she scrutinizes the anticipated files, a mix of frustration and resignation washes over her as her rank reverts to the familiar B+. Contemplating the seemingly insurmountable challenge of surpassing the boundaries of her class, Seion receives a timely notification on her phone, an emergency alert detailing the sudden appearance of a class of spiny bull in Seongdong-gu, Seoul. The urgency of the situation is underscored by the call for assistance from hunters above Class A. Miss Seion, recognizing the perilous nature of the spiny bull, contemplates the potential devastation it could unleash. Meanwhile, a public address in Seongdong-gu Park alerts the civilians to the imminent danger, emphasizing the absence of any responding hunters. The spiny bull, a formidable monster capable of single-handedly decimating an entire city, poses a dire threat. Amidst the unfolding chaos, our protagonist navigates the crowd, accompanied by a girl named Sun Eon. A moment of vulnerability ensues as Sun Eon stumbles, prompting you to express concern for her well-being. The tension escalates as the spiny bull looms menacingly overhead, poised to unleash havoc. In a protective gesture, Yu embraces Sun Eon, attempting to shield her from the impending impact, epitomizing a desperate bid for survival amidst the looming threat. Suddenly, an unexpected surge of electric energy strikes the monstrous spiny bull, catching it off guard. Seion, having positioned herself at the scene of the creature's appearance, becomes the focal point of its attention. To her dismay, the initial electric attack fails to inflict significant damage on the relentless beast, prompting it to retaliate with an even more formidable assault. The anticipation hangs in the air as the second attack connects with full force, dispersing into the dissipating smoke. Amidst the uncertainty, Seion, with a tinge of overconfidence, questions whether her efforts were successful. As the smoke clears, revealing two luminous eyes, Seion realizes the gravity of the situation. The spiny bull, undeterred, launches a counterattack, sending Seion airborne upon impact. Shaken but determined, she rises to her feet, acknowledging the vast difference in power between her and the formidable class of monster. Aware of the lingering threat posed to the civilians still present, Seion, clenching her teeth, issues a fervent directive for them to flee. Despite her own physical exhaustion, she urges them to escape the perilous scene. The spiny bull, relentless in its pursuit, shows no signs of relenting. Seion, grappling with the realization of her waning strength, reflects on a poignant memory from her past, an emotional moment in a graveyard where she vowed vengeance for her parents' demise. However, a pivotal memory of her sister's words intervenes, challenging her vengeful aspirations. Returning to the present, Seion, fueled by an unwavering resolve, rejects the notion of acceptance and channels her determination into a powerful attack. A resounding thought echoes in her mind, the crushing of God's index finger. With an overwhelming surge of energy coursing through her, Seion intensifies her electric charge, forming a sphere of electricity that she unleashes as a storm against the relentless spiny bull. In the aftermath of the explosive confrontation, astonishment fills the air as witnesses marvel at the unprecedented feat achieved by the Lightning Empress of Class B against the formidable Class A monster. Gratitude and applause rain upon Seion Miri from those she rescued, who express their heartfelt thanks. Even Seion herself is left in disbelief, grappling with the mysterious surge of power that seemed to propel her beyond her known limits. As the spectators commend her, Seion contemplates the newfound strength she experienced during the intense battle. Attempting to comprehend the overwhelming force she harnessed, Seion remains awestruck by the devastation left in the wake of the defeated monster. The crowd continues to offer their congratulations and appreciation, with Seion still processing the enigmatic source of her extraordinary abilities. Yu and the girl approach to express their gratitude, and Seion assures them not to worry about reciprocation. However, an unexpected revelation shakes Seion as she ponders how the stranger, Yu, knew her true identity as the Lightning Empress, an information carefully guarded from the public. Moreover, the voice she heard in her head resonates with his. Bewildered, Seion questions the identity and motives of this mysterious acquaintance. The narrative transitions to a notorious bridge where individuals often contemplate ending their lives. Here, the protagonist contemplates the events of the day, recognizing that the near-death experience was ironically triggered by his phone. Driven by a desire for a fresh start, he resolves to rid himself of the troublesome device. The scene shifts back to a couple of days earlier, introducing Yul Shin, a web novel author grappling with a looming deadline and creative block. Faced with the pressure of an approaching deadline, Yul engages in the futile act of organizing unused apps on his phone as a distraction from his lack of inspiration. To his surprise, he discovers an unfamiliar app named Godmaker. Intrigued, he opens the app, initially perceiving it as a game, and is greeted with a welcoming message from the enigmatic protagonist. On the phone screen, an ant emerges, leaving you puzzled at what seems like a perplexing game. In an attempt to make sense of it, he reluctantly clicks on the ant, causing it to be crushed and a coin to materialize, unexpectedly hitting him in the forehead. A window in the game announces the demise of Number 1 and the release of a coin from the Dark God as a reward. Another window congratulates you on advancing toward becoming a formidable evil god, acquiring a hunter skill in the process. Baffled by the coin's emergence from his phone, Yu decides to visit the Hunter Guild to explore his newfound abilities. However, the guild staff mock the protagonist for his unconventional name, while one of the attendants congratulates him on displaying skill potential. Yu envisions a future where he wields extraordinary powers and is surrounded by attractive companions, dismissing the class rank as long as it's at least D, freeing him from his novel-writing commitments. Disappointment strikes when he learns that his classification is G, with the ability to create materials. Faced with the option to register his license for a fee of 280,000 won, Yu promptly declines, deeming it unnecessary without any G-class dungeons available. Disheartened, he returns to the reality of his mundane life, contemplating the impending deadline for his novel. Struggling with writer's block, Yu spends hours continuously writing and erasing, finding himself in a creative rut. Seeking a break, he grabs the TV remote and, during a moment of respite, catches a news report about the renowned S-rank hunter, Baek Yugon, successfully overcoming the Dark Dragon disaster in a dungeon. Envy washes over Yu as he sighs and contemplates his own uneventful existence, switching channels in search of distraction. In the wake of Yu's decision to accept the mysterious chest, the phone radiates a brilliant light, marking a momentous turning point for the world. Meanwhile, the global community of hunters and political figures is abuzz with excitement and anticipation. The news of a creator-type hunter, Mr. Kangoo, unlocking the elusive hunter's shop in Korea sparks a sense of awe and wonder. As the world watches, Seion Mina, another distinguished hunter, joins Mr. Kangoo in presenting this unprecedented discovery to the public. The duo becomes a focal point in the ongoing discussion about the potential implications of the newly revealed shop. Speculations run rampant among players, enthusiasts, and experts, each eager to explore the treasures and possibilities that await within the confines of the shop. Back in his ordinary life, Yu grapples with the aftermath of his decision. The coins, now numbering 100, become a symbol of the inexplicable transformation he is undergoing. The phone, once a mundane device, has become a conduit to a realm of unimaginable power and possibilities. Yu is at the epicenter of a paradigm shift that could reshape the very fabric of the world. In the midst of this unfolding saga, the political landscape adjusts to accommodate the emergence of this new phenomenon. Leaders and authorities convene to understand and harness the potential benefits or risks associated with the unlocked hunter's shop. As the curtains rise on this uncharted territory, the world braces itself for a wave of change, driven by the enigmatic powers now at play. The hunters took a determined stride forward, while in the backdrop loomed Young Hee-won, the esteemed president of South Korea. The gathering celebrated the historic moment when Korea secured a user for the renowned hunter shop. Kang-gu and Seion Mina, undaunted by the steep costs, stood resolute. They implored Kang to unlock the potential of the hunter shop. Anticipation filled the air as everyone prepared to witness Kang's extraordinary abilities for the first time. Channeling an immense surge of energy, Kang unfurled the store's secrets. The unleashed power was so formidable that it compelled onlookers to take a step back. The host clarified that the shop's contents were visible only to the activator. To bridge the gap, they enlisted the psychic prowess of Miss Seion Min to project Kang's perspective. The crowd marveled as Seion Min painted a vivid picture of the majestic hunter shop, showcasing its rare items. Among them was a top-tier class potion priced at 7,000 gold. A step further revealed the legendary Excalibur, an S-class sacred sword demanding a staggering 2 million gold. The pinnacle of all came with the lightning god's blessing, classified as WS and carrying a jaw-dropping price tag of 300 million gold. Gasps echoed through the room at the mere realization that this divine blessing equated to roughly 30 billion American dollars. Amidst the astonishment, debates arose over the perceived value of the lightning god's blessing. While one companion argued it was a bargain considering its effects, Kang's financial balance displayed a daunting 0 gold. The present assembly found themselves in the presence of artifacts that existed only in legends. The narrative paused as the president intervened, commanding silence. A stern reminder followed. The destiny of the nation hinged on this pivotal moment. The president stressed the utmost secrecy until the project was set in motion. 2 S-rank hunters were subsequently appointed as guardians for Mr. Kang-gu, underscoring the gravity of the situation. Returning to our main character, he successfully unlocks the Divine Emporium, a feat that triggers a notification prompting him to spend 100 gold coins to activate the store. Without hesitation, Yu decides to part with the required sum. Witnessing 1 coin disappear, he daydreams about emulating the legendary Kang-gu, a creation-type hunter. Despite acknowledging the colossal gap between an S-rank hunter like Kang-gu and a mere G-rank like himself, Yu harbors hopes of earning some much-needed cash. A new window materializes before Yu, revealing the God's Tent interface. The display shows a total gold balance of 372, but the skills listed appear indecipherable, leaving Yu perplexed. He can only make sense of the exorbitant prices attached to each skill. Dishearteningly, what was supposed to be the incredible God's Tent turns out to be yet another lackluster skill. Yu grumbles, regretting that he spent an entire night acquiring just 300 coins. Unexpectedly, the store springs to life, navigating to a skill priced at a mere 100 gold coins. Convinced that the system itself nudges him towards this choice, Yu acquires the skill, gaining the eyes of the blind. This unique authority comes with a price, as another coin vanishes in the process. The ability's description perplexes Yu, as it claims to be the only authority of a nameless god, manifesting from a profound desire. Even though it promises to reveal the truth, Yu remains uncertain about its functionality. His contemplation is abruptly interrupted when he realizes he has lost his sight. Panic sets in as he fumbles for his phone to call for emergency assistance, only to encounter an unforeseen obstacle that inflicts unbearable pain upon him. In his distress, Yu drops his phone in shock, grappling with the harsh reality that he has truly gone blind. Desperate for help, he attempts to navigate his surroundings, encountering unforeseen challenges and enduring agonizing pain. If you've ever faced such an ordeal, back in the storyline, our protagonist regains his vision after enduring a powerful blow. As he sighs in relief, he realizes an unexpected side effect. He can now comprehend all the descriptions in the God store. The store unveils a plethora of skills, all classified under the God class. Yu, however, finds the names of these skills excessively exaggerated. Considering himself a lowly G-rank hunter, amidst the display, one particular skill catches his eye, the creation of exclusive authority of a transcendent god, priced at a staggering 1 billion gold. Despite feeling like the protagonist of a novel, Yu remains skeptical about the potency of such skills at his G-rank level. Opting for a more practical approach, Yu decides to search for a reasonably priced skill he can afford now. Navigating through the store, he stumbles upon the finger-crushing index of God, priced at a modest 100 gold. Intrigued by the name, he decides to make the purchase, spending another precious coin. The acquisition marks the birth of his unique authority, the finger-crushing index of God. Curious about the applications of his newfound skill, Yu experiments. Pointing his finger at the air conditioner, he activates and deactivates it effortlessly. The realization dawns upon him that the skill functions as a remote control. Encouraged, he extends this power to the television, further solidifying the practicality of his skill. However, disappointment strikes when he tries the finger-crushing index of God on a blank document, only to realize it won't write a novel for him. In the midst of his musings, his phone rings, the call of his formidable manager, who commends the brilliance of the eraser Yu sent. Confused, Yu reflects that he merely shared some experiences of exterminating ants in recent days. The manager, undeterred, praises the uniqueness of the protagonist's story, foreseeing lucrative returns. Yet, he drops a bombshell, the lack of a next chapter. Laughter ensues, and the manager jests about Yu not having a sequel yet, leaving the protagonist in a state of anxiety. In response, Yu assures that he can finish and send the next chapter in 2 days, determined to meet the deadline imposed by the all-powerful manager. Yu found the act of exterminating ants oddly entertaining for his readers, prompting him to dispatch a couple more. 2 notification windows later, confirming the demise of ants numbered 301 and 302, Yu admitted to harboring no ill will towards these tiny creatures. In his mind, the ants merely served as inspiration for his web novel content. Shortly afterward, the protagonist discovered an accumulation of enough coins on the ground, transforming into a 100 gold coin. This amalgamation surprised Yu, marking his first encounter with such a phenomenon. Barely 100 coins, he mused, realizing he still had a long way to go before acquiring anything substantial. The cheapest item, a consumable called the Protection of the God Range Growth Novice, cost 1,000 gold coins. Despite its potential superiority over his index finger remote control, Yu eagerly aspired to save up for this item, especially drawn to the enticing term growth. As Yu continued his ant-slaying endeavors, a notification indicated the appearance of ant number 404. Frustration set in as the resilient ant skillfully dodged Yu's attacks, leaving him perplexed by its resilience. Speculating that it might be a boss, Yu grew excited at the prospect of lucrative rewards. However, the agile red ant proved to be a formidable opponent, prompting Yu to showcase skills from his past life as a rhythm game enthusiast, reminiscing about a game called Defeat the DJ. Despite his efforts, Yu found himself desperate and wordless in the face of the ant's agility. Gazing at his screen, he conceded to focusing on eliminating the normal ants. The protagonist successfully exterminated around 800 ants, contributing to an increase of 800 points in the god's karma without a name. However, he still fell short by 200 karma points to attain the coveted title of Great God Evil. The journey to unlock this ominous title continued, marked by Yu's ongoing battle against the resilient red ant. Another notification window illuminated the screen, revealing that once Yu attains the coveted title, he would be eligible for rewards. The narrative then transitioned, unfolding like a cinematic projection. Yu found himself in a desolate movie theater with a single viewer, himself. Confused and disoriented, he questioned his surroundings and the circumstances leading him there. The screen flickered to life, capturing Yu's attention as a mesmerizing tale began to unfold. The scene shifted to a barren landscape where a man traversed a desolate moor, revealing the formidable power of the Black Tribe god. Yu, entranced by the unfolding drama, overheard the man's revelation about the god's malevolence, surpassing even that of an evil spirit. Exhausted and murmuring, Yu was determined to share this crucial information with his brethren. In the following sequence, the red ant, number 404, staggered towards a cave entrance, bearing the wounds of battle. The ant reached the cave's interior, revealing an eerie spectacle, an alien food plate, surrounded by fierce red fauces, another faction of red ants. Battling exhaustion, 404 entered an ant dining room, supported by his sword cane. The room fell silent as his comrades noticed his presence. In a desperate attempt, 404 disclosed that he had discovered the refuge of captive ants fleeing from the Black Tribe. However, their collective defeat at the hands of the Black Tribe god forced him to escape. Urgently, he warned his fellow ants to act swiftly before the monstrous god arrived. The room erupted in mocking laughter, dismissing 404's excuse as feeble. Yet, a hush fell over the gathering as an old ant entered, surprising even 404. The stage was set for an unforeseen development in the ant society's struggle against the ominous Black Tribe god. Before the venerable presence of the great shaman, Lord number 808, all the ants kneeled. The aged creature affirmed feeling the presence of the evil demon mentioned by 404, thereby validating the ants' story. Declaring the territory now under the rule of their great emperor, His Majesty Imperial, the shaman fervently proposed eradicating the evil god. Number 404 rejoiced at the support from such a significant figure. The shaman laid his hand on 404's head, invoking nature's blessing with a bright blue light that instantly healed all the ants' wounds. Enlisting 404 to guide them, the determined shaman pledged to personally subjugate the demon. The entire ant community rallied for battle, united in their resolve to vanquish the evil god. Abruptly, the protagonist awoke in a state of panic, bewildered by the vividness of his dream. Confused about whether he dreamt of being an ant or if he, in fact, was an ant dreaming of being human, he grappled with existential questions. 2 notifications on his phone interrupted his contemplation. The messages revealed that numbers 404 and 808 planned to invade the god without a name. Recognizing 404, Yu was determined to end the elusive foe. Another notification drew his attention, stating, "Nature rejects evil," as a gathering of red ants occurred. Strangely, the old ant from his dream appeared on his phone, casting a beam of light onto his face that caused a bleeding wound on his forehead. Insects then initiated a second attack against the god, causing pain to Yu. Despite the apparent fatigue of the old ant, the troops rallied, encouraged by their shaman. However, a sudden turn of events unfolded as Lord Number 808, overwhelmed by the congratulatory cheers, ordered a retreat too late and was pulverized. On the opposite side of the screen, the cruel god crushed his phone relentlessly, generating fumes that symbolized the annihilation of the enemy armies hit after hit. The ominous scene unfolded as the god unleashed his wrath upon the opposing forces. Consumed by rage, the protagonist Yu unleashed his fury upon the ants, annihilating them in a fit of anger. However, the aftermath of the tempest left Yu physically and emotionally drained, and he collapsed from the exhaustion of destroying his mobile phone. Amidst his tears, a notification window interrupted his despair, congratulating him on attaining the title of God of Evil. Shortly after, another notification on his phone informed Yu that the karma of the god without a name had exceeded 1,000 points, granting him the title of Evil God. Alongside this, he acquired the title of Evil Assassin, ranked F, bestowed upon those whose bad actions accumulate over 1,000 points of karma. Although bewildered by titles that contradicted his self-perception as a kind person, Yu observed the coins on the floor coalesce once again. Among the amalgamated coins, Yu discerned a peculiar ring, prompting him to pick it up. Intrigued by its pleasant fragrance, he decided to try it on his little finger. Unexpectedly, the ring began to emit a radiant glow, revitalizing Yu and erasing all traces of his fatigue. Another notification on his phone interrupted his moment of rejuvenation, revealing that the blind god's eyes ability was activated, and the ring was undergoing evaluation. The completed evaluation disclosed the ring as a Druid ring, once worn by the venerable Lord Number 808 throughout his life. Filled with the vital force of the forest, the ring possessed special attributes conducive to enhancing various qualities. Recognizing the utility of the blind god's eyes, Yu tested the ability on different objects, including the TV, computer, and even his own bed. With each application, the ability proved its effectiveness, unveiling the characteristics of each item. The newfound powers left Yu intrigued and eager to explore the extent of his abilities. Having grown bored with the evaluation process, Yu decided to cease his assessments. However, a realization struck him. With his newfound Druid ring and the ability to evaluate, he likely surpassed the G-class range assigned to him during the initial evaluation. Determined to confirm this, he revisited the Paranormal Evaluation Center. Upon arrival, the skeptical attendant questioned the need for a retest, emphasizing the minimal probability of error. Undeterred, Yu insisted on a repeat evaluation. The attendant agreed, mentioning that the first test was covered by a government subsidy, but any subsequent tests would cost a hefty 1.58 million won. Intimidated by the figure, Yu hesitated, citing the potential increase to a mere Class F as a reason to postpone the test. Frustrated and feeling embarrassed, Yu contemplated the time wasted and the potential progress on his novel. Observing a growing queue of people seeking evaluations, he calculated the time required to write and submit a new chapter. Amidst this, the blind god's eyes ability activated, allowing Yu to evaluate the people present. Intrigued, he assessed individuals, revealing their last names, and even attempted to learn more about a naked girl in the crowd. However, social constraints prevented him from openly inquiring about the detailed information provided by the system. Spotting a 19-year-old woman named Seion Miri, Yu noticed a special note indicating that she felt a sense of shock. Intrigued and puzzled, he approached the girl with the intention of asking about the peculiar detail. However, hesitating at the boundary of social norms, he grappled with curiosity, unsure whether to intervene in a situation where he was not explicitly invited. Nevertheless, curiosity overcame caution. Emboldened by his escape from the awkward encounter, Yu inquired about the whereabouts to pick up his niece, Seion. His sister, aware of his current unemployed status, playfully teased him about his situation. Swiftly steering the conversation away, Yu promised not to be late and bid his sister farewell. Grateful for the unexpected reprieve from a call with his manager, he contemplated having additional time to dedicate to his novel. As Yu navigated through the surroundings, the lingering echoes of mocking laughter from some boys reminded him of his unconventional appearance. However, such musings were swiftly overshadowed by the remarkable beauty of his niece, a stark contrast to her mischievous mother. Inquisitive about the earlier awkward incident, Seion, at the tender age of 5, questioned her uncle about whether something unpleasant had occurred. Recollecting the peculiar situation with Seion, Yu couldn't resist the playful temptation and pinched his niece's rosy cheeks. Unamused, Seion scolded him while Yu apologized in the background. Intriguingly, a notification window materialized before Yu, signaling that his ability was evaluating the young girl, revealing her full identity as Seion, Yu Il-shin's niece. A special note indicated her craving for a chocolate ice cream cone. Capitalizing on this newfound information, Yu suggested the delightful idea of indulging in ice cream. Initially hesitant, Seion eventually acquiesced. Together, uncle and niece ventured towards an inviting ice cream shop, where a kind worker awaited their arrival. The promise of a sweet treat cast a positive light on the day, as Yu aimed to create cherished moments with his delightful niece. The girl chose a chocolate cone, and Yu, ready to pay, pulled out a handful of coins, leaving the dependent bewildered by the unexpected payment method. Frustrated by the meager amount of ice cream being scooped into the cone, Yu sensed discrimination and remembered his newfound power, the index finger of God. Taking a stand for his niece's consumer rights, Yu used the divine power to compel the ice cream machine to shower them with a generous serving, much to his satisfaction. As his niece delighted in her ice cream, Yu, reveling in the tranquility of the moment, was abruptly interrupted by his phone's incessant ringing. The title of Evil Assassin had been activated, significantly boosting the God Without a Name's battle fortune. A mysterious voice echoed ominous words, foretelling Yu's path towards becoming a true evil god. Caught off guard, his niece dropped her ice cream, and as Yu gazed skyward, a monstrous entity emerged from a rift in the sky, leaving him with a sinking feeling. With a jolt, the narrative returned to the present, where Yu pondered the thorny bull's purpose, to consume the God Without a Name, also known as Godmaker in the game. Perplexed, Yu recalled how the girl had inadvertently saved him, and when the thorny bull met its demise, a message revealed that he had passed a test, elevating his class to Evil Killer. As a reward, he could acquire a low-class god authority without spending coins from the god's store, but it had to be an exclusive authority of the evil god. A window materialized, presenting the reward, and Yu attributed the entire ordeal to his troublesome phone. Preparing to cast his troublesome phone away, Yu felt it vibrating energetically. To his surprise, a message from Saint God appeared on the screen, leaving him perplexed as to why he was marked as a saint. On the other side, an altar was guarded by insect sentinels, one of whom lay fulminated, while the other trembled before a fierce red ant. Within the altar, a white ant pleaded with the God Without a Name, seeking compassion to save its tribe. A red ant entered, referring to the girl as the saint of the black tribe, only to be confronted by an imposing red ant with an army at its command. Brandishing a sharp sword, the red ant aimed to strike down the saint of the black tribe. Yu, engrossed in his phone, faced a moral dilemma as a window queried if he would save the microscopic creature pleading for help. Drawing parallels to his recent ordeal, Yu empathetically decided to support the defenseless ant. As he observed the imposing red insect, he resolved to take action. On the screen, the red ant mocked the saint when a formidable force left him speechless, disintegrating him with a powerful ray. Yu, having intervened, contemplated the unusual size of the ants this time. Numerous coins spilled from the mobile device, prompting the saint to inquire about the God Without a Name's true name. Perplexed by the game's request for his real name, Yu hesitated but ultimately entered it, deleting Yu Yuxin from the interface. Following the acquisition of the title of Benevolent God, Salvation Benevolent of rank F, a window announced that the saint would now serve Yuxin, a revelation that left the protagonist incredulous. With both the titles of Benevolent God and Evil God, Yuxin's nature shifted to neutral, as indicated by another notification. In a surprising turn, he received a payment of 100,000 gold coins as the first bonus for the title of the Benevolent God, elevating his total gold to 108,700 coins. Excitedly perusing the store, Yulxin set his sights on the blessing of the god of growth for his first purchase. As he examined the radiant bottle, the eye of the blind god began evaluating the object, describing it as a liquid with the potential to unleash its power, improving with each sip. Taking a cautious taste, Yulxin likened it to a mere Red Bull, expressing his discontent with the system for what he perceived as deception. However, upon reading the description more carefully, he realized that the true potential unfolded with continued consumption. Opting to give it the benefit of the doubt, Yulxin indulged in multiple sips, only to suddenly lose consciousness. A subsequent window revealed that the assimilation rate of Godmaker increased from 0 to 5%, with the protagonist's soul authority strengthening in tandem with the assimilation rate. Upon waking up, Yulxin felt fatigued and experienced a headache, questioning when he had arrived home. Glancing at his phone, he made a startling discovery. Thousands of red ants were converging upon him. Emerging from his bed, the protagonist attempts to flee the scene as a window informs him of the Godmaker battlefield updating due to the increased assimilation rate. In the haze of confusion, Yulxin is bewildered by the sudden appearance of numerous ants and endeavors to escape through the door, only to find it firmly sealed. The swarm of ants descends upon him, biting at his feet. Amid the chaos, he spots a potential escape route and dashes through the ants toward the window. Despite being on the 3rd floor, Yulxin believes he can survive the fall. However, the seemingly unbreakable window thwarts his escape plan, and he crashes to the ground with a forceful impact, realizing he is now trapped on the floor. In the eyes of the ants, the protagonist appears terrifying as he charges an attack, but it turns out to be a deceptive move. He hurls a book at the approaching army. The ants retaliate with artillery and fire arrows, hitting various parts of Yulxin's body. Witnessing the apparent victory, the ant general commands the army to advance for the glory of their majesty, the great emperor. As the protagonist struggles for breath, a glimmer of hope emerges when he recalls having insecticide in his apartment. Summoning all his strength, Yulxin manages to rise and surprises the red troops by orchestrating a formidable counterattack using the insecticide and a machine gun. The ant general, bewildered by this unexpected power, is left in awe, realizing that the strength of a god surpasses his comprehension. Despite his successful retaliation, Yulxin curses his incapacitated state, fearing that his demise is imminent. Suddenly, a high-class evil god named Silent Knight sends a gift to the protagonist. Opting to accept the gift immediately, Yulxin feels his finger emanating darkness, and a surge of power courses through him. Simultaneously, across the city, Seion contemplates her perceived inadequacy in combat and senses a familiar energy emanating from a distant building. Returning to Yulxin's plight, he finds himself struggling with the newfound authority bestowed upon him by Silent Knight. Frustrated that the gift doesn't seem to serve him well, he attempts to use his finger-crushing index of God, only to witness no effect. Exhausted and feeling defeated, he questions whether this is the end for him. Suddenly, a powerful explosion rocks the surroundings, and Yulxin, using his blind god's eyes to assess the situation, wonders about the identity of the intruder before losing consciousness. In the aftermath, at the hospital, Yulxin's niece queries him about his true identity as her uncle. The protagonist responds positively to his niece's inquiry about his identity, but is met with skepticism, prompting her to ask for a password. Yulxin humorously offers a playful yet insulting description of his sister as the password, which the niece recognizes, confirming his uncle's identity. However, this leads to the sister getting angry at the perceived insult. Yulxin expresses gratitude to his niece for visiting despite his wounded state. Unexpectedly, a knock on the door interrupts the interaction. The niece opens the door, finding a basket on the floor. Intrigued, she brings the basket inside, remarking that there was no one outside. Yulxin, puzzled about the unexpected gift, speculates whether it could be from his novel editor. Meanwhile, at a distance in the hospital, Seion observes Yulxin, convinced that the man possesses an extraordinary power. Having observed him for 4 days, Mira contemplates the possibility of being a stalker, but is halted by a revelation. Yulxin is observed watching something on his phone, and with a discontented and angry expression, the protagonist, Yu, contemplates the relentless notifications on his phone. Simultaneously in the virtual realm of Godmaker, the saint stands before a sacred tree, surrounded by fervent followers. They implore the saint to reconsider, deeming the offered treasure too precious even for their savior. However, the saint is resolute, acknowledging the significance of the tribe's most treasured possession as a means to express gratitude for their deliverance from the imperial army. The act, she believes, might also serve as repentance for their sin of neglecting it for so long. Back in the real world, Yu vents his frustration at the intrusive mobile notifications that disturb him even in moments of pain. Unbeknownst to him, the saint and her 101 followers are engaged in prayer, seeking divine favor from Yu. A window prompts Yu to accept the followers' tribute, and he, thinking it's a significant offering, gladly agrees. The saint successfully transfers a stone to Yu, recognized by the system as the fruit of the world tree, one of 7 fruits bestowed by the world tree in Brazil. Devoid of any discernible fragrance, the stone is suggested to be beneficial for vitality. Without hesitation, Yu consumes the stone. Only shortly after the divine fruit incident, another notification graces Yu's phone screen, indicating the activation of Godmaker's God's Grace additional function. Eager to appreciate the ant's tribute, Yu contemplates what kind of gift would be fitting for the tiny followers. His gaze lands on some sugar bags on the table, and he decides it might be a sweet reward for his faithful worshippers. Meanwhile, in the realm of the saint and her tribe, disappointment looms as their most sacred treasure fails to elicit a response from the god. However, their spirits are lifted when an unexpected phenomenon occurs. A substance falls from the sky, not snow, but something heavenly. The ants sample it and find it divine, leading to the miraculous healing of the tribe's wounds. Overwhelmed with joy, the saint and her followers express gratitude to their god, Unequal. On the digital interface, a window notifies you that he has gained 101 true followers, accumulating 101 points of faith. The system reports the acquisition of 10,100 white god coins through the use of faith. Pleased with the turn of events, Yu finds the ants endearing, appreciating their unexpected love for sugar. Transitioning to another part of the city, an alley bustling with sales and exchanges captures Yu's attention. Witnessing a scuffle between 2 individuals, he perceives the alley as potentially perilous. Undeterred, he ventures deeper, determined to find a place where a regular person can sell and purchase items. As he explores, an unknown figure shadows his movements. Upon discovering what seems to be a suitable store for his endeavors, Yu steps in, greeted by an attentive clerk who welcomes him to the establishment. The protagonist explains his intention to sell an item to the store clerk, clarifying that he's not a hunter due to avoiding license costs. The kind girl hands him forms to fill out before proceeding. As Yu starts to fill in the documents, he feels a sense of melancholy, realizing he has to sell items to cover house repair expenses, and laments not being able to disclose the true source of the article, killing ants in a game. Another customer enters the store, greeted warmly by familiar faces. The protagonist discreetly observes the newcomers, noting their imposing size. He consciously avoids eye contact, but the blind god's eye appraises the fake muscles of the hefty individuals. Curiosity piqued, Yu eavesdrops on their conversation. The new customer presents a seemingly extraordinary mithril armor for sale, though the system labels it as a charming shard with a questionable illusion ability set to take effect in a few hours. The shop attendant is impressed by the armor's purported 560 mana points, and the customers vouch for the product's quality. The boy selling the armor requests 300,000 in cash, and after a brief contemplation, the client agrees to purchase it. She excuses herself to retrieve the money from the safe. However, Yu intervenes abruptly, cautioning against buying the fake product, albeit regretting his unwarranted involvement. The room falls silent, tension escalating as one of the thugs grabs Yu by the shirt. The leader questions Yu's audacity, and a confrontational atmosphere arises. In a daring move, Yu activates his crushing god's finger ability on the purported mithril armor, transforming it into a heap of scrap metal. The onlookers, including the present thugs, are incredulous. As a slayer prepares to strike Yu, the leader unexpectedly halts the attack, leaving both Yu and the assailant bewildered. The leader of the thugs bows apologetically to the protagonist, mistaking him for a high-class hunter. Accepting the apology, Yu allows the group to leave the store, leaving behind a confused and grateful store clerk. The emotional attendant, wiping away tears, admits that she initially thought Yu was just a hermit, a rare breed of individuals who lead a non-hunter, normal life. Yu finds it challenging to reveal his true identity as a hermit. Trying to change the topic, the store clerk recalls Yu's intention to sell an item. However, she appears disappointed when she evaluates Yu's ring, revealing it has only 12 mana points and categorizing it as a Class D item. Apologizing for the seemingly low value, the protagonist shares in the disappointment, having expected more power. As the item is re-evaluated by the blind god's eye, a special note suggests giving it to Seion Miri, the Lightning Queen. Yu recalls Miri, who had been following him on the street. He speculates about her impressive recovery speed, considering it might be due to a high-level potion, even though she's just a Class G hunter. Pondering on Miri's presence, Yu contemplates the possibility of her being a high-level hunter in disguise, potentially able to help her overcome her limits. Observing her persistent following, he decides to approach Miri and reveals that he has something to give her, catching the Lightning Queen off guard. After this, the narrative shifts to a towering skyscraper where a potent lightning strike occurs. The girl, now at a high level even among those of Class A rank, expresses excitement about her newfound power with the ring. Recalling the protagonist's gift of the Ring of Nothingness, Miri recognizes its significance and requests to keep the ring as it could prove useful to him. As she runs off, the ring begins to shine, leaving the girl surprised at how casually Yu handed over such an incredible item. Applause interrupts her thoughts, and Miri is congratulated on her recent improvement. However, her sister, Seion Mina, coldly reminds her that she has only been elevated to Class A, low rank. A boy, trying to cheer up Miri, proposes future collaboration, but Mina warns against seeking revenge. Miri, contemplating the potential assistance from the mysterious person, sees revenge as a means to overcome her limits. Shifting back to Yu, he is peacefully sleeping when the inherent authority of the blind god activates again. An imposing presence commands General Kamakiri to lead the charge against the god of the Black Tribe with the 5 million soldiers under Jim's command. The formidable General Kamakiri accepts the orders from the Emperor. Yu wakes up startled by the nightmare but reassures himself that it was just a dream. He reflects on the inevitability of time passing, comparing the army size this time to the previous 100,000. Feeling powerless, he receives a message from a god named Nightmare without sound, offering him energy. With the weight of recent challenges and the impending threat of the Emperor's army looming over him, Yu finds solace in the act of writing. As he delves into the narrative, he loses track of time, pouring his fatigue and determination into each word. The room around him becomes a sanctuary of creativity and struggle. The protagonist's fingers dance across the keyboard, weaving a tale that mirrors his own trials and tribulations. The words flow, carrying the burden of a world under siege, a god facing his nemesis, and a writer battling against both external and internal pressures. As he navigates the intricate plotlines, Yu finds unexpected inspiration in the chaos surrounding him. The looming deadline from his editor becomes a symbolic battleground, where every word he writes is a defiant stand against the encroaching darkness. The blessings of growth, initially acquired for their in-game benefits, now serve as a real-world elixir, fueling the protagonist's creativity and endurance. Days blur into nights, and the protagonist, fueled by a mix of caffeine and sheer determination, reaches the final lines of the chapter. The exhaustion weighs heavily on him, both physically and mentally. His eyes, strained from hours of staring at the screen, flicker with a mix of accomplishment and weariness. Yet, as he reviews the completed chapter, a spark of satisfaction ignites within him. It's a testament to his resilience, a manifestation of his ability to persevere against the odds. The real and virtual worlds intertwine, with the protagonist realizing that, in both realms, he stands against formidable adversaries. The notification from the system disrupts his momentary reflection, signaling that his assimilation rate has surged, and his inherent authority has attained newfound strength. The benevolent savior title, activated by his relentless efforts, serves as a reminder of the dual nature of his existence. As Yu closes his laptop, the room seems quieter, the weight of impending battles momentarily lifted. The message from the Emperor's messenger and the nightmare of an army approaching remain. But for now, the protagonist relishes the hard-earned peace, grateful for the refuge found in the written word. Amidst the urban hustle, Miri, carrying a cake, navigates the city streets with a purpose. Her mission is to locate Yu, the protagonist, without giving away her intent. The anticipation of seeking a favor urges her to maintain a positive first impression. Approaching Yu's apartment building, Miri feels a surge of nerves. She rings the bell, but there's no response. The slightly ajar door hints at an unoccupied space. Tentatively, she enters, inquiring for Mr. Yu Wiley Shin. The apartment appears deserted, with only traces of a web novel company, and an editor immersed in frustration. Meanwhile, Yu, immersed in a web novel universe, completes his script. An enthusiastic exchange with the editor culminates in a celebratory dinner plan. Back in reality, Yu finds himself kidnapped, bound to a chair. Laughter echoes through his dreams as he envisions a sadistic demand for extra portions of ribs. The scene shifts back to the grim reality of the kidnapping. The leader demands compensation for disrupting their business, and Yu feigns ignorance about the whereabouts of his phone. However, the revelation that the kidnappers possess his phone sets off a series of calculations by the system. As the countdown timer ticks to 0, Yu seizes the moment, commanding the thugs to swiftly unblock the phone and dispose of it. The leader, perplexed by the timer's purpose, is met with Yu's urgency as impending threats loom, setting the stage for a tense confrontation with the Imperial Army and a mysterious, impending danger. As Yu witnesses the peculiar transformation of the assimilated insects, their distorted forms painted an unsettling picture. While the others perceived them as ordinary, the protagonist was privy to the grotesque truth. The bat, a newfound ally, unleashes a powerful sonic wave that decimates a significant portion of the Red Troop army. Confounded by the system's classification of this devastating force as insignificant flames, Yu seeks answers, only to collide with a wall. Amidst the chaos, the repercussions of Matten's demise loom large, with the bat's actions intensifying the protagonist's predicament. As the boss succumbs to an unseen force, struck down like a stone hit him, the remaining troops notice the emergence of catapults among the insects. Panic sets in, and the chubby troop member attempting to flee finds the exit sealed, echoing Yu's past confinement. Desperation mounts as General Kamakiri orders a barrage of stones, claiming yet another victim. Yu, resigned to his fate, curses the ominous game that dictates his life. However, a glimmer of hope emerges as his phone illuminates, heralding a small miracle. An electrifying surge courses through the ship, decimating thousands of enemy troops. In the midst of the electrifying chaos, a message from Seion Miri reveals her intervention. Miri's electric attacks continue to wreak havoc, earning Yu recognition as a formidable force. Acknowledged as a true evil god, the protagonist faces the furious General Kamakiri. Determined to take Yu down, Kamakiri initiates a sacrificial spell, offering the heads of his soldiers for unimaginable power. The battle unfolds, poised on the brink of a destructive climax, as Yu and Miri confront the malevolent forces threatening their existence. Amidst the chaotic battleground, the protagonists grapple with the aftermath of the reverse timeline. Kamakiri's treacherous act against its own kind has left them in disbelief. The energy aura emitted by the Ant General suggests a mysterious and powerful force at play. The system's identification of Kamakiri as a 98-year-old woman wielding the celestial sword further deepens the enigma. Seion Miri, the lightning empress, appears to be the Ant's primary target. Kamakiri, relentless in its pursuit, leaps towards Miri with deadly precision. In a desperate attempt to thwart the impending disaster, Miri unleashes her thunderstorm spell. However, the Ant General effortlessly deflects the electric onslaught with its cuts, closing in on Miri with the celestial sword skill. Yul's anguish cries echo in the air, but the blade strikes Miri, triggering a catastrophic explosion. The protagonists, bearing wounds from the impact, race to Miri's lifeless form. General Ant, attributing Miri's fate to her disrespect for the Emperor, declares the evil god as its next target. Yu, consumed by rage, curses the insect while Godmaker's eye ominously reveals the future of mortal destiny. The offer to change the fate of a mortal using the authority of God is presented to Yu, demanding a hefty price of 100,000 gold coins. In a blaze of fury, the protagonist accepts the offer, vowing to avenge Miri. Time rewinds, returning to the critical moment when Miri faced the imminent strike. As the ant resumes its attack, the system discloses the expenditure of 100,000 coins. Chains break, symbolizing a profound alteration in Seion Miri's fate. With newfound determination, Yu intervenes, snatching Miri from the jaws of destiny. The astonishing speed and strength exhibited by Yu leave both Miri and the ant bewildered. Miri, now saved, acknowledges that the protagonist harbors powers beyond what he revealed. As the smoke clears from the aftermath of the devastating explosions, the remnants of the Ant General lay obliterated. However, a mysterious knife falls onto the backs of Yu and Miri. Sensing Yu's uniqueness, Miri decides that he will be her mentor and teacher. Despite the epic moment, Yu's attention shifts to the heat of the flames, momentarily interrupting the gravity of the situation. Moving forward, Miri, filled with enthusiasm, requests Yu's guidance in becoming stronger. She demonstrates her newfound strength by effortlessly lifting cement bags, leaving Yu somewhat perplexed and feeling overshadowed. Amidst the chaos, Miri, excitedly, but misguidedly, asks if Yu is a hermit, prompting Yu to clarify the situation. In a somewhat uncomfortable return to Yu's apartment, Miri, eager to be Yu's disciple, kneels and seeks his mentorship. Yu, seeking a swift resolution, proposes training to achieve her goal. Returning to the apartment, the Lightning Empress affectionately refers to Yu as her teacher, expressing her determination to follow him until he agrees to mentor her. In a moment of revelation, Yu candidly informs Miri about his ordinary Class G status, attempting to dispel any misconceptions. Miri, however, remains unconvinced and requests the ring she gave him, believing it enhances her attacks. With a nonchalant response, Yu downplays the significance of the object, subtly shifting the focus away from its importance. The dynamic between teacher and disciple begins to take shape as Miri embarks on her quest for strength under Yu's reluctant guidance. As the emergency alert looms, Miri appreciates Yu's concern for her safety and reassures him that it's a common occurrence. However, the interruption prompts Yu to insist that Miri drinks the growth potion immediately to strengthen herself against potential threats. Miri, holding the potion protectively, is hesitant but ultimately decides to trust her teacher's judgment. She consumes the potion, and the room is filled with a radiant glow as its effects take hold. Miri feels a surge of energy coursing through her veins, and a newfound determination sparkles in her eyes. Witnessing the transformation, Yu is both amazed and bemused by the potency of the growth potion. He contemplates the potential benefits of having such items and wonders if this is the key to unlocking more of Miri's hidden potential. With the emergency alert still lingering, Yu and Miri prepare for the challenges that lie ahead. Unite after bidding farewell to Yu, Miri assures him of her return, a prospect the protagonist hopes to avoid. Left alone, Yu decides to indulge in a solo dining experience at a Korean barbecue restaurant. As he eagerly anticipates his meal, news coverage captures his attention. Reports highlight the emergence of a formidable Class S dragon or monster in proximity to the Congress building. Among the patrons, there's a collective hope that the dragon might target a corrupt politician. However, the broadcast takes a positive turn as it reveals the swift intervention of a hunter on the scene. The hunter's valiant efforts are commended for buying precious time, allowing citizens to evacuate safely. To Yu's surprise, the broadcast discloses the identity of the brave B-rank hunter confronting the fearsome S-rank dragon. It is none other than the Lightning Empress. The protagonist grapples with disbelief, realizing the extent of the challenges Miri willingly faces. The presenter emphasizes the crucial role the B-rank hunter is playing, holding her ground until higher-ranking association hunters arrive to provide reinforcement. The protagonist contemplates the daunting nature of the S-rank monster, recognizing the inherent danger it poses. In the midst of the battle, the dragon stands as a formidable adversary, imposing its presence. Miri, on the front lines, takes decisive action, guiding a civilian to safety with a shout of caution. The relieved woman rushes away from the danger zone. Amid the clash, the Lightning Empress questions her ability to confront such a powerful foe alone, mindful of potential repercussions from her sister for any missteps. Evading a powerful blow from the dragon, Miri acknowledges the difficulty of maintaining focus in the intense encounter. She gathers her resolve, unleashing a potent attack that connects with the menacing creature. As news reporters relay the events, the Lightning Empress is hailed for her triumphant victory over the dragon. The public expresses gratitude to their heroine, offering words of encouragement. Miri, amidst the celebration, revels in her success, relishing the satisfaction of defeating the fearsome monster. However, the jubilation is short-lived as Miri begins to feel the physical toll of the battle. Doubts about her own strength creep in, compounded by the lingering voice of her sister in her thoughts, admonishing her not to act like a mere Class B hunter. The memory of her sister's stern tone resonates, casting a shadow on Miri's moment of triumph. In the aftermath of the intense battle, Miri recalls the potion gifted by her teacher. With the Lightning Empress momentarily absent from the fray, the attention of the fearsome dragon shifts menacingly toward the terrified civilians. A collective shiver runs through the onlookers as they face the looming threat. Suddenly, a golden flash captivates the dragon's attention once more. Stepping forward, Miri hurls the jar to the ground, initiating an electrically charged attack fueled by the potent drink. The heroine, now fully restored, refocuses her energy on the formidable adversary. The terrified citizens, initially cowering in fear, find renewed hope in the Empress's determined stance. Miri channels her concentration, engaging in a fierce battle with the dragon that seems to operate on an entirely different level. The bystanders place their faith in the heroic Lightning Empress, while a resounding alarm echoes as a warning to the dragon. The Empress ascends, unleashing a powerful electric storm against the monstrous creature, captivating viewers with the mesmerizing display of lights. Television broadcasts marvel at the extraordinary power exhibited by the seemingly ordinary university student. The reporter announces the victory of the A-rank adventurer over the formidable S-rank dragon. Meanwhile, Yu, perplexed by the situation, wonders about the intentions of the girl who serves as his teacher. The decision is made to interview the triumphant heroine. Despite her recent ascent to rank A, Miri is questioned about her feelings regarding the defeat of the formidable S-rank monster. Seizing the opportunity, Miri extends her gratitude to her exceptional teacher, acknowledging the efficacy of the potion, and exclaims that he is the best. After a moment of anticipation, Miri repeats the phrase, "I trust in the only God," with genuine enthusiasm. To her surprise, a subtle glow envelops her, and Yu observes as a window on his phone indicates the successful activation of faith. Reflecting on the peculiar nature of the system, he contemplates the potential rewards and strategic advantages that may come from Miri's newfound faith. The conversation takes a lighter turn as they discuss various topics, from Miri's admiration for the lightning empress to Yu's experiences with the bizarre occurrences in his life. The evening progresses with laughter and camaraderie, bridging the gap between the seemingly ordinary young man and the aspiring lightning queen. Yu stands there in disbelief, and a notification pops up, confirming the successful activation of faith. Congratulations, Seion, Miri is now your first follower on Earth. Current level of faith, 1102 points, announces the system. Yu, however, is not as thrilled, questioning why he didn't receive any coins. Another window opens, revealing a new ability, the power to share abilities. It appears that Yu can now borrow skills from his followers, currently utilizing those of Seion Miri. Frustrated with the game-like nature of his reality, he demands the system to grant him the deserved coins. Meanwhile, as Miri ponders if something is bothering Yu, a mysterious portal materializes behind her. Tiny beings emerge, recognizing Yu as the evil god of the Black Tribe. Despite his lowly status, the Imperial Majesty has apparently promised the divine throne to this seemingly arrogant man. The diminutive entities inform Yu of their intention to employ him in a grand war, relaying the benevolence of the Imperial Emperor. The revelation leaves Yu perplexed and anxious about the unpredictable path ahead. The protagonist contemplates whether he can harness the power of Miri's lightning storm. Tentatively, he raises his hand, and a dazzling flash emanates, terrifying the onlookers with the intense display of lightning. The ensuing explosion appears to have disintegrated the Imperial Army's messengers, leaving Miri in awe. A disgruntled neighbor voices concerns about the incessant explosions, while Miri praises her teacher for mastering the ability to summon lightning. On the contrary, Yu remains indifferent, more preoccupied with the potential repair costs for his apartment. Meanwhile, in the Red Ant's palace, the Imperial Emperor vents his frustration at the evil god for slaying their emissaries. The Saltamonts attempts to justify their decision to send messengers, but faces a spear piercing from a commander who deems him worthy of death for his faults. The Emperor, infuriated, orders the decapitation of the evil god. The scene shifts back to Miri, who is sprinting at an impressive speed. The protagonist admires her prowess, contemplating the remarkable abilities of high-ranking hunters. Miri astounds Yu by revealing she has already completed 100 laps. Grateful for the dedication, Yu offers her another potion and advises her to rest before resuming training. Miri appreciates the gesture, acknowledging the stimulating effects of the growth blessings for both of them. Despite finding it absurd, she eventually accepts her role as the protagonist's disciple. The scene transitions to the Imperial Emperor's palace, where tension rises as the Emperor fumes over the evil god's defiance. Blaming the Saltamonts for suggesting the ill-fated emissary mission, the Emperor orders a brutal execution. The air is thick with animosity as the Emperor vows vengeance against the evil god. Back in the mundane world, Miri, having recovered from her intense training, engages in a conversation with the protagonist. She expresses her gratitude for the growth blessings, acknowledging the noticeable impact on her development. Yu, still grappling with the bizarre game-like aspects of his life, contemplates the responsibilities that come with being a mentor. As Miri eagerly awaits further instruction, Yu ponders the mysterious connection between his abilities and those of his followers, wondering how this will impact their future endeavors. After Miri's quick recovery, she eagerly inquires about the next exercise, prompting the protagonist to suggest a series of squats. To tailor her training regimen, Yu decides to tap into the power of his blind god's eye. As Miri delves into an intense workout, the blind god's influence transports her to a surreal mental landscape, gradually erasing the boundaries of her surroundings. In the midst of her concentration, a blinding brilliance disrupts Miri's inner focus, revealing a colossal lightning tiger bound to the very essence of the protagonist. The majestic beast exudes an awe-inspiring presence, its chains echoing the symbiotic connection between you and the divine forces that govern his newfound abilities.